All right, so in this lesson, you're going to need a straight edge. I've got a popsicle stick or tongue depressor, and you're going to need a compass. Okay, you can use a ruler, but you're not going to need to do any kind of measuring. You just need something with a straight edge. And what we're going to do is what are called constructions. And constructions are just, in geometry, it's a process of making shapes, drawing diagrams or constructing diagrams, but with precision. And ironically, it's without numbers, so there's a bit of a purity to it because what we're doing is we're constructing something that doesn't involve something like numbers or a measurement on here that we have to, measure in between. We can actually just go out to the exact point we need. And we're going to start with something simple, copying a segment. Meaning we're just going to have segment AB, and we're just going to copy that exact segment down here, the same length. And so on our compass, we have the sharp pointy end, and we have the pencil. So when I say put your pointer down on this point, we mean put the point. Okay, so we're going to copy a segment. We're going to use a compass. We're going to place the pointer at point A and extend it until it reaches point B. So all we're doing here, this is how we measure using a compass. Right, and so that's the measurement of segment AB. Okay, so now your compass now has that measure. Place your pointer at A prime. Well, we need to draw A prime, the point where our new segment is going to start. So we just label that A with a little apostrophe there, A prime. Okay, and we're going to create an arc with our compass. Now, if we draw a segment from A to anywhere on that arc, we have a segment that's the exact same length. And that's all our goal is in this problem. That's why we just need a straight edge. Just draw out to that arc, put a point. And this segment is an exact copy, exact length of that segment. Okay, so in this example, you're just going to copy segment XY down here. That's all you need to do. Oh, and before we go any further, I have a notebook underneath the paper so that the pointer has something to kind of grab into so it doesn't slide. Otherwise, if you just do it on a desk, it's going to slide. All right, next we're going to bisect a segment. That means we're going to find the point that divides the segment into two congruent parts. Now I have it listed out and as a series of steps, but when you do this, you're just going to do it on one segment. You won't have to redraw it several times. But the idea here is I'm showing you each step individually. So you're going to place your pointer at A so that the distance exceeds halfway and you're going to make an arc. Okay, so all you have to do is open up your compass to be more than half the distance. Okay, so as long as you know it's half the distance, you're going to create an arc. That's step one. Okay, I'm showing you step two, or C, I suppose. But again, you're always going to do it on the same diagram. I'm just showing you in steps. So without changing your compass, place your pointer at B and create the same arc. Okay, well that means we need that initial step here. Okay, so on step two, that's what you should have. Okay, so on this next step, we need those first two steps. Arc at A, and an arc at B. Okay, so we're to where we just were. Place your straight edge on the paper so that it forms CD. Okay, so we're going to label these points of intersection, C and D. You meant to do that in this step. Okay, so now we have names. So now we can say the intersection of line CD and segment AB is the segment bisector of segment AB. So we're going to use our straight edge, draw a line, that point is the segment bisector, and we can label that M. I suppose we did it. I don't want to do it again down here just to label the midpoint M. We'll call it good. Okay, so now we're going to do it without having to do it on multiple diagrams. We're going to bisect segment AB, so we're going to open up the compass to be more than half and make an arc. Okay, move your compass to the other endpoint. Make an arc. We created two new points, so we're going to label those C and D. And now all we have to do is use our straight edge to draw this line. And line CD is the segment bisector of segment AB. So we could even put these hash marks there to show that now that we have a segment that's been bisected. Okay, so you're just going to do this one again. If you did the first one, you're just going to do it a second time, this time with segment CD. All right, next, we're going to move on to angles. So like we copied a segment, now we're going to copy an angle. It has a few more steps. It's not necessarily any more difficult, but put it into words, it requires a bit more. So we're going to create an arc of any size such that it intersects both rays of the given angle, and we're going to label those points. Okay, so put your pointer at the vertex. Open up your arc just so it intersects both sides of your angle. Okay, and we'll call those points of intersection B and C. Now, the second step says construct the initial side of your new angle. Well, I have the initial side. All you have to do is draw a ray. Okay, so any ray will do. That's our initial side. This is our new initial side. And we're going to construct that same arc with our compass pointer at A prime. Okay, now this intersection, or this point, is B prime. Okay, so now we just need to measure how wide our angle is from point B to C. So now we put our compass down at B. We open it up so that it has the measure of CB. So that's how wide the angle it is when you're at B. So now we just move it down to B prime, and we make an arc. And we know that this point of intersection will give us an angle that has the same measure as our previous angle. So we mark that C prime, use our straight edge, and then we've precisely copied the angle without any kind of measuring, like with a ruler or protractor. Okay. Well, now we're going to cut an angle in half. We're going to bisect an angle. To bisect an angle, we're going to put the point of your compass at the vertex and create an arc. Okay, so similar to what we've done before. Just put your compass at the vertex, open up your compass, and make an arc. Okay, we have two new points, so we're going to label them B and C. Okay, now we're going to leave our compass open the same amount, and we're going to put the compass on B, and we're going to swing an arc out here in the interior of the angle. And then we're going to put our compass at C and swing an arc out in the interior of the angle. Well, notice this point is the same distance from B as it is from C, and B and C are both the same distance from the vertex. Okay, we're going to label that point of intersection D. Well, now we just need to draw this ray going from the vertex through D. And that ray is our angle bisector. So this ray splits the angle into two congruent parts, and we can label it now and say those two angles are congruent. All right, so go ahead and bisect this one. It's an obtuse angle, but the process is exactly the same. All right, and the last part, we're going to construct a parallel line. So meaning we have a given line, and we're going to construct a line that's parallel to it through a point. Okay, so we want a line that's going to be parallel to line B, but it goes to this point. And we can call this point, P, not B. All right, so we call that point P. So this point is just a random point, but we want a line that's parallel to line B through that point. All right, well, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw a point on line B. And we're going to call that Q, and we'll put another point on here, and we'll call that R. Okay, that just gives us some reference points. All right, we're going to draw or construct an angle from Q through P. Or sorry, construct a ray, but that forms an angle. Okay, so now we're actually here at step one. What we're going to do is we're going to basically copy this angle up here so that we can get a line that's parallel. So we're going to construct an arc at Q so that it intersects both lines, or this line, that ray. And then the next step is create that same arc up here. And I guess I lucked out because I need my arc to intersect with my line. So if it doesn't, you have to extend your line so it intersects. Okay, now we're just going to copy the angle, which means we need to measure the first one. All right, so we measure how open that first angle is. And we come over here to our point of intersection, and we draw an arc. Well, now if we go draw a line through P in this point of intersection, we've got a line that's parallel to our original line and through point P. All right, so go ahead and construct a line. We'll just call this one M, right? Construct a line through M that's parallel to A. And remember, the first step is, or at least the next step is, to label a couple reference points on A and draw the line through one of those reference points in M so you can copy that angle. All right, that's it. When you get to class, we'll practice this more and we'll do a few more, we'll learn a few more constructions. All right, that's it.